Hi guys, this morning I've made a video about ArcoLinux B Plasma. We built the ISO, made a video how to install and gave you lots and lots of information about ArcoLinux projects. This time I want to have as well Plasma, but I'm gonna use the project ariser.eu, which intention it is to stay as close as possible as ArcoLinux. Basically, to be honest, it's ArcoLinux. And it has a folder called ls. And when in ls here there are lots of scripts and lots of configuration, and with that we're gonna install Plasma. So if you want to stay as close as possible to an ArcoLinux system and you want to, well, let's wait for this to pop up. Problems downloading. Remember, Las Vegas will take 4 minutes, so that's cool. In the meantime, why Ariser? So Ariser is a combination of pure Arch and scripts. The scripts come from PicoDev, and he's the developer behind it, and the selling points are, for me, it's Arch, pure Arch. We have a developer of ls that has the knowledge to create these scripts. Is an easy and super fast way to install Arch. This is important. I can go to dinner, I can go out, I'll come back and I'll have it. An unattended installations. Everything, every little bit that needs to be configured is in the configuration file. Set it up once, install 1,000 times. Automated, right? And pre-configured. These things are for me the selling points, and of course we stay so close to ArcoLinux. So we've done some experiments and changed to GNOME, Plasma, Mate, Plasma. Here it is. Plasma is the one I'm gonna choose. Any desktop can be installed in less than 4 minutes. And at one point in time, my internet was great, the servers were great, right? 129 seconds. And you've got in 2 minutes time a desktop installed. Yes, it's not fully complete, right? It's XFCE4 and XFCE4 goodies, but to be honest, 2 minutes. So a lot of information is in here. You can read more. I will always use the Nemesis GitHub, so the ArcoLinux Nemesis scripts on github.com Eric Dubois, and this one will decide what I do more. I want Vivaldi, I want Chromium, I want Spotify, I want so many other things. They're not on this. That's for later. And I'll run the current choices. So you make something similar and you run your scripts to remove this, that, and add this, that. Here are some images. I have to wait 33 seconds. Right? Anything is available. It's just, this is not rised, obviously. This is rised afterwards already. Some icons in here. This is definitely not rised. This is the normal ArcoLinux Mate look, and the normal XFCE look, and the normal Plasma look at some point in time, right? Because Plasma is taking care of its design, so it will change from time to time. This is GNOME. Cinnamon, not rised. And that's the idea, right? It shouldn't be rised. It's up to you to rise it. But I run the Nemesis scripts, and that will automatically rise everything. And that's fun, because later on the next installation, no need to rise, everything will be there. So a lot of images. So what we're gonna do is download the ISO and run it. Later on, if you say this looks like a good idea to go for it, then there is more tutorials how to start, only 11, so that's not that much to have a look at. The ISO is in our system, so clone Ariser. So remember, I want to have Plasma. I want to stay close to ArcoLinux download. Here he is. This is, it says ArcoLinux, it doesn't say ArcoLinux, doesn't say Ariser. It's pure Arch plus one folder with a lot of scripts from PicoDev. So we boot up, and he thinks he's an old machine. Maybe it's better to tell him to fake a new machine, and like this I have faked that. So now a different look. Black means UEFI. All the text here say that it's UEFI. And now we boot up. This is an ArcoLinux boot up. As you see, there's no mention of 5 options like in ArcoLinux. No, it's Arch. Now, since it's Arch, we also need to wait a little bit for the keys to come in. So the pacman init needs to be stopped before I start to do anything. Now, because I talk now and I teach, it will be done, but think about that. So if you take a look around, nothing to see, cd to the root, whoa, QWERTY, right? Load keys be Latin 1. So if I go to the root and look around, this is the normal look, except it starts with Alice and Alice dev, and dev stands for development. So I try first the code in there when there's a new code from Pico dev. I test it out in Alice dev. Okay, go. All right, then both of them become the same. So we go to Alice, and then we say ls. Everything is now white, meaning it's not executable. Start sh is the only one that's executable. So when I run this particular thing, it's gonna make everything, not everything, the sh things, the shell things, executable. The conf things it will not touch, and we are interested in the conf things. So alice.conf, configuration for this particular script, Arch Linux installation script, Alice, right? ALIS. Then you just go down. This is configured the way I like it. Probably you don't have the BE Latin 1, the Belgian keyboard. So this is where things become complicated. If you want to download the ISO and then start to change everything, you need to remember what to change all the time. So if you love this setup, this way of installing, then maybe it's better to create your own GitHub. So device is auto, so you can say device SDA, NVMe, VDA, and so on. Trim is true, and so on. Let's see what matters for us. X4 is good. I can take swap size if I want. It will be a swap file. So okay, I want to have a swap file. Just exclamation mark needs to go. Exclamation mark means don't do it, ignore. Now I say don't ignore. And then let's go on. So I definitely want to keep simple, a boot and a root, stop. So the home is not used, exclamation mark. And for the rest, we want Plasma, right? And maybe this as well, the countries, the reflector is going to check which are the fastest Arch Linux servers. I do that in Sweden, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Germany, but maybe you live a little bit somewhere else, right? And then you start changing the countries around you, your own country, and then around you, or the fastest. For me, Sweden is actually quite fast. That's why it's first. I don't want other kernels, but I could. Linux LTS, LTS headers, and so on. Paru bin, keep everything as is there. Still did not find Plasma. Display drivers automatically, or Intel, AM, GPU, ATI, NVIDIA, and so on. I'm on VirtualBox, so all good. Europe, Brussels, probably not correct as well. And maybe, I don't know, the languages, the locales, maybe like another language. The keyboard layout is for me BE. Another BE Latin reference. So all these things matter. Yeah, the username will be Eric and the password will be Eric, but maybe you want something else. So you see, it makes sense to make your own spin off, your own fork from this. And here we have it. Desktop environment, XFCE. My exclamation mark is there. Okay, no XFCE, but let's go to Yep, there he is. So here we say we call Plasma KDE, so delete KDE. That's what we'll install. There are other things at the end here, dusk, left WM, and so on. If we don't say, it will become automatically, but automatically he will know to get sddm for Plasma, right? You don't have to tell him. sddm is by default the display manager for Plasma. I think I'm at the end of the changes, but maybe you will not be at the end of the changes, right? So have a look at all the other things that are in here. Here we say auto for the bootloader. And since we mimic UEFI, I'm pretty sure it's gonna make a systemd thing. But if you really wanna be sure, systemd, then here it is. So voila, no problem. I will say the bootloader will become systemd. This won't work on BIOS computers, obviously, only in UEFI. All right, Control X, save modified buffer, yes please. File name to write to, enter, and it's saved. So the only thing we've changed is the configuration, the ls.conf, and now we start. sh. Do you want to get the last GitHub code in? Internet required. It will overwrite anything you may have changed. Not a good idea. No. Don't want that. And off it goes installing. Otherwise, and that's the idea, the practical idea is there, that once you make an ISO, you just grab the code from your own GitHub, and you push changes to the GitHub, and you never need to rebuild the ISO. There's no need for it, because you grab the code from the GitHub, overwrite everything that's locally, and run it. And the packages, the packages will be installed, will be updated later on, and so on. So there's no issue. Here we go and have a look at the neighbors, right? Sweden, Norway, Netherlands, and so on. And off it goes installing all the packages. So now it follows the process of installation, and it takes the ls.conf into account, saying, okay, you don't want grub, you want systemd, fine. You don't want XFCE, you want Plasma, fine. But if I didn't change anything, I would have gotten LightDM, I think, with XFCE, with, I don't know if I got grub or not, right? But it's defined in your file. Now I'm not gonna pause the video, so you can time how long it actually takes to build an ISO. But here you see some packages passed, the reflector comes in. And on a good day, maybe, right, you get a fast installation. And I am actually also installing more stuff. I think there is the NeoFetch that I install extra, and there is this Sublime text that I install extra. So I have those available on my system later on. It's all in the config. And here we see a lot of packages coming in, Qt5, Plasma, KDE stuff. So you know he's now busy with the desktop, 800 megabyte to download. I was just thinking about the keys at this point in time, checking keyring and all that. So we've taken care of that in the beginning. At the very beginning, he's going to download the ArcoLinux keyring and going to install it. Then it's going to update, install, and do the rest. And Plasma is one of the larger desktops, so if you see things passing by, you say, oh God, right? Don't want this particular bit. Two options: either you say it inside your configuration, inside the alice.sh as well, or you run your GitHub scripts like arcolinux-nemesis there and say sudo pacman -r by. Not working, rs, then you remove more, right? And if not working, then it's rdd, and it's gone also. But of course, be sensible, or how do you say that? Here's Sublime Text. Be careful, right? Be careful. DD is working fine, but here's the time. We've took 4 minutes and 27 seconds to actually install Plasma, which is one of the bigger guys, which is normal then. And we'll wait for the rebooting, automatically reboot. So it automatically installs, it automatically reboots. You can go away, walk away from the machine, and then voila, you've got yourself an operating system. This is system D. It's supposed to look like that. It's a little bit more, 4 lines, great lines. Test them out, and then we boot. Personally, I don't need 5 seconds, so I'll tell him whatever, and I'll change from 5 to 1, and that is done in scripts. You may have noticed, or not, that up here to the left there was Plasma Wayland. So I'm running Wayland on VirtualBox. Voila. So we have here a pure ArcoLinux installation with packages that you may like or not like, but it is the way it is, right? You got all of this available, and I do have already VLC, I see, so that's an extra. Firefox is an extra. You can see it in the configuration of Alice. No offices, of course, office packages. Development maybe Melt. Yeah, I'm a fan of Melt. Sublime Text, and with those guys I can work. And this is Control T. Let's see that works. Super T. Let's see that work. Super Enter. None of it works. F12. No. So all of these things. Let's see if Yakowaki is there. Yes. And I say OK. And now F12 works. And then we do one last thing. Oh, see if NeoFetch is installed. We're on the purest of Arch. At this point in time, nothing has been really added from any distro at all. There's no configuration from anywhere. Maybe you want to see that. Minus remove a riser or something, right? ALCI is another project of ours. ArcoLinux, nothing there. So what is there then? Well, these repos, that's it. That's all we have. But that's enough. Well, yeah, no, Paru is there. And now we know we have some choices, because yes, we have hundreds, if not thousands of choices. If we want to install an icon theme, for example, then you have 832 packages concerning icons. So that's your AUR, Arch User Repository. It's there thanks to Paru being installed already. You can do this as well. Just passes the switches to Pacman. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to play with this a little bit more, install the ArcoLinux Nemesis scripts afterwards, and then you see what extra things, and I'll improve the scripts. Each time I install something, I run the ArcoLinux Nemesis, and then I think, okay, maybe I need this and this and that for Plasma. And then I start changing things. And that's exactly what you can do. Making a script to fine-tune, to cherry pick, to remove things, and so on. Settings that you like and love, put them back after a clean install. All right, enjoy the project. Cheers.